Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's and Mariana's Coffee.
Good evening, Commonwealth. Thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. A local woman in charge of the CNMI Bar Association may have been cooking the books of criminal information filed in federal court. Also tonight, trying to get a dog to the mainland. It can mean Guam, Japan, and Canada, and thousands of dollars. And design on improving tour sites in the north is underway, as northern sites will soon get a makeover. Stay with us. These stories and more are next.
Find a plan that goes with your flow. Get unlimited local talk, text, and data at the most affordable rate with Unlimited Flow Postpaid.
I love Mariana's Coffee. Come join me for a cup. I think you would be really happy.
Half a day, women of the Marianas, in our roles as mother, wives, daughters, and friends, we often put the health of our families and loved ones first. But remember, to be the best version of ourselves, we must prioritize our own health. Regular screening like mammograms, pap tests, empower us to detect cancer at its earliest stages, increasing the chances of successful treatment. Take a moment to schedule your screening today. By taking care of ourselves, we can continue to care for those we love. Make your health a priority. Your loved ones need you, and you deserve the best possible care. Schedule your mammogram and pap test by calling the CHC Women's Clinic at 670-234-8951.
Let your people know. When it comes to the pickle to chicken ratio, some people, they playing in your face, but not the McCrispy.
Bank fraud and wire fraud charges have been filed against the former executive director of the CNMI Bar Association. Peony Cabrera was born and raised in Saipan. She attended Northern Marianas College and Boise State University for studies in business administration. Cabrera has served as the executive director for the Bar Association since 2019. In the information filed by Assistant U.S. Attorney Eric O'Malley, the United States says that beginning on or about April of 2019 and continuing through May of 2023, Cabrera knowingly executed a scheme to obtain money, funds, and other property by writing and cashing checks made payable to herself and drawn upon a bank account at the Bank of Hawaii belonging to the Northern Marianas Bar Association. Count 2 says the scheme happened from September 20th of 2019, continuing through March 12th of 2020, where cash withdrawals were made from a bank account at the Bank of Guam belonging to the Northern Marianas Bar Association. Third count is wire fraud, says that beginning April of 2020 through June of 2021, Cabrera devised a scheme to defraud and obtain money, causing wire transfers of money from accounts belonging to the Bar Association at the Bank of Hawaii to a third-party payment company, which was then diverted to her own personal use. And the fourth count says that between June of 2021 and through February of 2023, that she caused members of the Northern Mariana Bar Association to make wire transfers of money into third-party payment accounts owned and controlled by the defendant. Money was then used for her personal use. FBI has been working this case for a number of months, and we are told a plea agreement may be in the works. Living in the Western Pacific, we are pretty accustomed to some long flight times to get to the mainland, laying over in Guam, connecting in Japan or Hawaii. But if you're trying to get a dog to the mainland, the list and requirements are slightly more complicated. Think pages and pages, and it can involve 3 to 4 different carriers, quarantines, health certificates, and touchdown in multiple countries. If you had to get your dog home, you would take a Micronesian Air cargo flight to Guam.
Right, and that's on average about 200. You would land on Guam, you'd go to Harper Valley Kennels for the quarantine itself, and then also for the health certificate to fly. Since we don't have a vet, we have to use their vet. So while they're in Harper Valley, they get that health certificate, they get any vaccines that they were not able to or did not receive on Saipan, and then they also have that pickup drop-off fee from the airport. So stay at Harper Valley for whatever services you need to fly, then they're escorted back to the airport.
It gets more interesting. The pets currently cannot fly on United Airlines, so the Guam to Hawaii flight is out. United dropped pet-safe travel from their system in 2018. But Japan Airlines will take animals. Only problem is they stopped flying to Saipan in 2005. But they do fly into and out of Guam. So to get a dog to the east, you must first go to the west.
They land in Japan. They're there for 24 hours, just sitting in the crate because that's how the flights line up from Guam. There's only a few flights a week. So the poor dogs are in the crate for about a day in Japan, and then that 8-9 hour flight to Canada.
Wait, Canada? Did you say Canada?
They would land in Canada. You'd have to hire somebody to do the import regulations and fill out all that paperwork, customs forms and such.
Japan Airlines does have flights to the States, but because of cabotage rules, you can't leave Guam on Japan Airlines and fly via Japan to a U.S. destination. Nearby Canada is an option. From there, you transport your dog down to the border, Seattle or such, and then once in the U.S., you can get your animal on an Alaskan Airlines flight, cargo flight, to your final destination. In many ways, at least for us, flying has gotten easier over the years. We book on our phones, order in-flight meals, choose our seats, even track our bags. But flying pets, at least in our region, has gotten harder and harder. And our local activists are trying to do something about it. Last week, they staged a protest outside the airport. They have an online petition that has over 20,000 signatures. And also, day in, day out, they are rescuing animals, giving them medical care, and trying to find homes for them. But what's the next step for United with trying to get something concrete happening?
I mean, us specifically is mostly social media. Lauren herself does all the emails and the chats with people personally, which is a hard job to go back and forth. I know we've been going back and forth with United for years and have gotten little headway. The social media is what really gets through to them from our side.
I have had conversations with United officials over the past few years. And like hundreds of emails. Government of Guam met with United. I arranged that meeting. Nothing happened. I've, continued to escalate things, trying to do things kind of behind the scene to give them the benefit of the doubt, because we know United and other airlines really hate bad press, and we didn't want anything negative to come out of it. We wanted just, here, look, we're just trying to talk to you. This is our issue. But after 3 years of that, you get kind of tired of euthanizing pets that are left here because people can't bring them.
What would your response be to them if you got in a meeting and they're just like, look, Lauren, we don't feel like we could do this safely, and so we're not going to do it?
In reality, so they have said things like that, like they don't have the infrastructure in place, they don't have the contracts with the veterinarian or this or that, but in reality, they're doing it for military, so I would hope that they have safeguards in place to protect those animals, because if they don't, that's not good. And
Is there
then
a chance that military has their own vets?
they don't.
I don't know.
Yeah, not for this specifically. They do have vets, but they're not involved with pet shipping. And the process, even for military service members, is pretty difficult to book the pets, but it's doable. But every excuse United gives is usually related to not having the setup for it, or the pandemic, or something like that. But the pandemic is over and they're already shipping pets for a certain group of people on that route. So we're just asking for that to be extended to everybody else.
The activists point out that with the many decades of service in this region and the experience that United has of shipping things of all shapes and sizes across and around the Pacific and Micronesia, they are hoping for a second look.
I understand if you don't have the infrastructure, the problem is then work on building that. People here need it, and as the only domestic airline, it is their responsibility to serve the community that they claim to, and pet shipping is a big part of that.
Upgrade your savings when you bundle with any iPhone 15 series today. Our affordable Link bundle gives you the power to choose just what you need, with mobile and home internet starting for as low as $105 a month, no home phone required. Plus, activate your bundle with the brand new iPhone 15 and receive your first 2 months of home internet on us. A $50 port-in credit, a SuperPod AX, and basic installation, all free for a limited time. Additional conditions may apply. Visit DocomoPacific.com to learn more. Docomo Pacific, better together.
Let your people know. When it comes to the pickle to chicken ratio, some people, they playing in your face, but not the McCrispy.
You better strap your seatbelt, put it on. Come on, everybody, put your seatbelt on. When things go wrong, it can save your life. When you go for a drive, strap that seatbelt, hear it click. Come on, everybody, better wear it quick. It's the law, wear it when you're out there. For your safety, you know that we care.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the CNMI Department of Public Safety.
Click it or take it.
Premium office space is available now at the Hermosa Vista Business Park on Capitol Hill. Features include dedicated parking, fast internet, backup power, good water, and natural light throughout to go along with the very best views on Saipan. So don't settle for space when you can get peace and peace of mind. Call Hermosa Vista today at 670-483-4750 or email hvsaipan@gmail.com.
I love Marianne's coffee from Join Me for a Cup. I think you would be really happy.
Changes are coming soon to the Marpi area as the northern tour sites will be enhanced. MVA's Managing Director Chris Conception outlines the plans.
We are a co-recipient actually with the Office of Planning and Development and MVA, $1.4 million grant from the Economic Development Administration for a Marpi Tourist Sites Improvements project. So what we're going to do is totally renovate and rehabilitate Bird Island, brand new railings, parking, new stairs, a lookout deck, and just sort of clearer pathways that are going to be ADA accessible.
Suicide Cliff is part of the project as well.
Brand new railings, new clearly designated parking area. And what we want to do in particular is clearly mark the line, prevent vehicles from driving to the edge. Right now, as that Suicide Cliff is designed, you can drive your car straight up to the cliff's edge, right? So what we want to do is make that just a pedestrian-only area.
Thursday night on Your Humanities Half Hour with Catherine Perry. She welcomes Malia Tony Ramirez.
My mother began her promesa at the age of 13. Josefina, her maiden name, Sablan de Guerrero. Both her mother and father died at the age of 13 with 5 children, and she was the eldest. And so she was telling me that in 1933, she would just always go like this to me. You know, Malia, I never had a childhood. And I said, why, Mom? Because I became responsible for my siblings, at least 2 of them.
Ramirez is a Chamorro storyteller, and you can look forward to an in-depth interview on Your Humanities Half Hour right here on Channel 2. Catch the premiere Thursday night at 7 p.m. NMC recently sent scores of new graduates into the world. NMC President Galvin de Leon Guerrero spoke at the commencement ceremony.
The headlines these days are quite depressing. Everybody's fighting. Trump versus Biden, millennials versus Gen X versus Gen Z versus Gen Alpha, even Drake versus Kendrick Lamar. On a more serious note, war rages across the Middle East, the Ukraine, and Sudan, while global warming, economic disasters, and a growing mental health crisis are taking their toll on our humanity. These headlines are enough to scare all of us away from each other into our own little worlds, hiding in fear. But as one of my greatest mentors once said, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. So against all that fear, allow me to offer some hope. Despite all the doom and gloom about climate change, last year, solar and wind power generated a record 30% of global electricity, while fossil fuel production grew less than 1%, and renewable energy gets more affordable every year. So yes, the world is on fire, but we are making progress towards putting out that fire. But what about the economy? During my lifetime, world poverty has been significantly reduced from 50% of the world living in poverty in 1970 to only 10% in 2022. In that same time, personal income in the Western world increased from $22,000 per person to $55,000 per person, all adjusted for inflation. In short, less people are poor today than ever before, and more people are earning a livable income. What about public health? In 1900, half of all children died in birth, or 50%, but that dropped to 4% in 2020. In that same time frame, many major diseases were eradicated, and average life expectancy increased from 32 years old to 71 years old. In other words, far less children are dying today, and we are living much longer lives than previous generations. So when we take a step back and look at this big picture, things are getting better. there is cause for hope.
Hi, I'm Dre, one of the personal trainers here at Ghost Gym, and today we're going to go over the kettlebell deadlift. Fantastic exercise to build overall strength, particularly in the legs and hips. Remember, we want to make sure that our setup is in good position. If you set up in a bad position, it's not going to look good and it's certainly not going to feel good. So a common error setup is obviously a rounded upper back. 2 simple ways of correcting that. All I'm gonna have Vince do here is extend his arms up here, and all he's gonna do is think about reaching long and pushing his hips back. Reach long and push your hips back. So as you can see, he's already in good position. Now all he's gonna do is grab that kettlebell. He's got tension in his legs and in his back. All he's gonna do is just stand up tall, finish with his glutes.
Hey golfers, come north and practice your game at the Marianas Driving Range. New Year's local specials. 10-piece coupon books available for just $60. That's a $10 savings. Want to get really good? Come work on your swing every day for just $99 per month. It's our practice pass and you're going to love it. Grab your passes and go straight to the range. You can social distance and chip all at the same time, and the views are free. Reserve now at marianastrekking.com. You can pay online, open 7 days a week. At one of Saipan's beaches, this mother lays about 100 eggs under the cover of darkness. She hides her nest as best she can and then slowly makes her way back to the ocean. The eggs hatch and the babies head for the sea, where they will face a daily dose of danger. Just 1 in 1,000 will make it to adulthood. Those that do will one day lay their own eggs. Sea turtles are protected under CNMI law. If you see one that is stranded or if you see illegal activity, call the hotline at 287-8537. Beautiful weather today. Isolated showers, lows tonight around 77. East wind 7 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow it'll be highs near 87, lows around 77, winds 7 to 9 miles per hour. Heat index today up at the airport 93 degrees at Saipan International. Visibility 10 miles. Chance of showers just 10% for most of the week. The ocean conditions, north-northwest swell of 2 to 3 feet. That's coming from Typhoon Ewiniar, which is moving pretty fast. National Weather Service not anticipating too much swell from that typhoon, which is located well to the west and north of us. No watches or warnings in our waters.